Well, I have this headline here. It's from a website maybe you've heard of. I don't know, a tiny little startup website called Breitbart. And the headline is Judge rules California's assault weapons ban is unconstitutional. Now, I don't know very much about things like the law, so we're going to go to people who are experts on guns and laws and things like that. AWR Hawkins, he is the Breitbart News Second Amendment dude. AWR, this sounds like obviously a good thing. What does it mean? How big of a win is this?
Well, it's a huge win in this way. It does place an injunction where that ban cannot be enforced after a 30-day period. He gave the Attorney General a 30-day time frame in which to appeal or whatever he needs to do. But so 30 days from June 4th, the injunction will be in place and the assault weapons ban will be unenforceable.
Okay, so put this into words, the words an idiot can understand, meaning myself. Does this mean today Californians can go out and, dial up that new AR-10 they've been looking for, provided you can actually find one? Is that what that means?
I see what you're saying. What it means is 30 days from June 4th, that judgment takes effect. And so right now, you can't go out and do those things. But this judge was so insightful, Jesse. This judge made a point, I'm paraphrasing, but he made a point such as F-150s are wildly popular, AR-15s are twice as popular. I mean, he made these kind of observations in his ruling to say, look, the Democrats have taken perhaps the most popular firearm in America, demonized it, labeled it an assault weapon so they could ban it. And he said, it just can't be done. You can't do that. So that's where we are. It's wonderful news.
It is wonderful news. And you know what? We're going to have a brief pause here for a moment because, as everybody knows, I have one or two weapons. I can't confirm or deny where they are, but I have one or two. I do have an AR-15. I have yet to make the AR-10 purchase yet. I have a bunch of my friends, those Special Forces Super Ninja types, that swear to me I have to have an AR-10. AWR, do I have to have an AR-10 too?
You really need one because the 308, in my opinion, is the best all-around round. The 308, you can reach out and touch someone or something. 308, if you get someone in a fatal funnel, they're coming down a hallway at you, you win. You win if you have the 308. As I say, for hunting, it lets you take down medium to large game with no problem. As a matter of fact, I'm in Louisiana right now. Tonight I'll hunt with a 45-70 and with a 308, and I love the 308.
Okay, dang it. Now I'm going to have to. Now I've had the expert lecture me on the air. Now I have to. But setting that aside.
That's not a lecture.
Assault weapons. I understand that you and I roll our eyes whenever Democrats talk about assault weapons. The word itself is meaningless. Look, I don't beat around the bush. All my weapons are assault weapons. It just depends on what it's meant to assault. But setting that aside, what is their definition? Because this is really important, and they're always quibbling over the definition, trying to grab more of them. Have they actually settled on something?
Well, I think it depends on which Democrat is speaking, and I don't mean that facetiously. That's how up in the air it is, and that makes your point. But I think if it has a quote-unquote heat guard, see, they don't understand a foreguard or a foregrip. They call it a heat guard. If it has a heat guard, if it has a thumb hole stock, if it has a collapsible stock, if it has threads on the end of the barrel, if it has threads on the end of the barrel, if it accepts a detachable magazine and that magazine is capable of holding more than 10 rounds, if it's flat on top so that it will accept optics, so it's optics ready, that freaks them out because it doesn't look like what they're used to seeing, even though it doesn't do anything to make the gun more lethal or more deadly or anything like that. Doesn't matter. So it's all cosmetic, Jesse, and I think that's the key point. Nothing they critique has anything to do really with the performance of the rifle. It's all cosmetic, and they've demonized them, as that judge said, just so they can ban them.
With the exception of my Ruger 22, I don't think I've ever held a magazine that held less than 10 rounds. That's the point of a magazine.
I agree. I mean, a magazine that only holds 10 rounds, it's just kind of boring. Plus, if someone comes through your door, Jesse, and I'm being very serious now, if someone comes through your door or my door or our neighbor's door, You look how many times it's not just one person who comes through, it's two or it's three. If three people come through and each individual has a gun, regardless of the capacity of their gun, I want more than 10 rounds. If I've got three people coming in a home with evil intent, I want more than 10 rounds. And that's why I never buy into this ban talk, because ultimately it's not even just what I want, it's what I need. I need more than 10 rounds if I'm going to keep things safe.
I have consistently said the biggest problem I have with my 300 Blackout is not the 30-round mag. It's that the 30-round mag is not a 50-round drum. But anyway, we're setting that aside for now. I'm looking at another article by one AWR Hawkins about the Supreme Court. Supreme Court to decide whether Second Amendment protects concealed carry of firearms. Now, the fact the Supreme Court has been named in there makes it sound like a really big deal. What exactly are they deciding, and when are they deciding it?
Well, I don't know exactly when they'll make that decision, but now what we're talking about is in New York to move a gun. Even if you're permitted to own the gun, if you're not permitted to move the gun or to carry the gun, then you can't transport that gun from your home to another location. And in some cases, from your home to a shooting range. And so what the Supreme Court's going to look at here is whether Second Amendment protections extend to carrying the gun outside the home. And it's very fundamental, because the question I ask is my life's worth protecting in my living room? Well, would our founding fathers have believed my life was worth protecting at Walmart or at the restaurant or at the coffee shop? And these are the kind of questions that'll have to be asked, because it's going to be that foundational. Do we have the same protection? Do we have the same protection down the street 2 miles from our home? Do we have the same constitutional protection to carry a gun that we have in our living room or in our kitchen? And I don't know how they can rule against this, but of course you can't predict that. But all of our rights are of a cloth, which I know Jesse. And so to say that I don't have a right to carry a gun in public for self-defense is much akin to saying I don't have the right to speak freely in public, only in my living room. And when you start to look at things that way, you go, ho, that won't work. We can't put these rights, we can't compartmentalize like that. And I hope that's how the court will see it.
Are we winning or losing on guns in America right now? What I mean by that is I understand Biden, Harris. I understand the administration's not what gun lovers want and things like that. And we have some nut job who's about to take over the ATF, which shouldn't even exist, but that's another story. But overall, over the past 10, 20 years, are we heading the right direction or the wrong direction?
My opinion, we're winning. You look at 8.4 million first-time gun buyers last year. I believe what we have, Jesse, and I know you probably see this better than I do from your vantage point, but what we have on the left, we still have that small contingency of diehard gun controllers. And the thing is, they have tons of money. So they're very loud, and it makes them look bigger than they are. But on our side, we have 8.4 million new gun owners. On our side, we have 20 states with constitutional carry. On our side, we have 50 states with concealed carry. On our side, we have states passing protections for gun makers so that if Biden pulls the Protection of Lawful Commerce and Arms Act, there will still be state level protection for gun makers. I could go on and on and on. My point is this. As you say, Biden, Harris, very loud, very anti-gun. The leftist groups, very loud, very anti-gun. But you and I are talking about which AR-10 we want to take hunting. We're talking about which round we're, in my opinion, Jesse, we're winning, but we can't relax. Can't relax.
Hey, thanks so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me, like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me. Thanks.